squat is probably one of the single most important movements that the human body does. Really, in reality, squatting is sitting with a purpose, if you want to look at it that way. It is a movement where your hips, knees, and ankles all need to have the flexibility to bend properly and come to a certain depth in your movement in order to gain the most movement out of the muscles themselves. There's been a lot of talk about you shouldn't go past your knees, there's going to be damage to your knees if you do certain movements improperly, etc., etc. I promise you that if you do this properly and follow the instructions I give you here, you will not experience any knee pain and in fact improve your knee health as you become stronger and have done this for a longer period of time. In order to do the squat properly, I want you to start with the same train of thought each time to make sure that you're following all the necessary steps. So the easiest way to do that is to start by looking down. Look at your feet and where they're standing. Oftentimes when people have a lot of restrictions in their quads, their hams, and their glutes, and all different parts of the body, their feet tend to fall into an incorrect standing pattern. Feet will be turned out like this, or they'll turn in this way, putting the knee in an awkward position. So start by looking down, making sure that your feet are about hip width or just slightly further apart than hip width if you're very tight, and that your toes are turned out. So your knees should always be facing out away from the midline of the body. This is the midline of the body, and you want your knees to be facing this way. Once you've confirmed that your feet are in the right position, that your knees are in the right position, I want you to loosen your hips and your knees at the same time, which means don't stand like this, loosen them out a little bit, and make sure that you feel your glutes activate, meaning that when you push out this way, your glutes you're feeling like as if there's some tension in them. Next is your abdomen. This is a very important piece of every movement that you make as well. People generally tend to stand like this, which when you progress on in your movements later, will cause you to have back pain and other issues if you don't learn how to activate your abs during these movements. So, feet out, knees out. Feet hip width apart, hips loose and glutes engaged. Abs in, chest up, head up. You're always looking straight ahead of you. You want to avoid cranking your neck this way or looking down this way. Again, not good for the spine, not good for the neck, and you're not going to breathe properly. Now that you have proper posture, you can put your hands at your sides, in front of you, to your hips, whatever you like, and then remember to breathe properly. You always want to breathe in when things are easy, and for us, that's when we move with gravity. So big breath in, and breathe out when it gets hard. In, out. Remember to pull in your abs, knees out, and that's it. That's a squat. Practice this as many times as you can and make sure that your knees are out, your abs are in, your chest is up. Let's move on to the next movement.